Look how the diamond blink off my jet. Fresh in my white tee. See the progress. I'm a stunner, stunner, stunner. I'm a stunner, stunner, stunner. The security guard that Diddy paid $100K to for the hotel video footage is testifying against him. Ain't that about a bitch? I ain't lying, fool. If I'm paying you 100 Rackingtons, is the hotel security guard for the 2016 footage of what he was throwing around Cassie in the hotel as she was trying to escape, goddamn. That nigga. But I don't know if that footage or how that footage escaped out of that hotel. Maybe Diddy paid a nigga 100K and he saved a copy of the tape for himself. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for the leverage one day, come back, tell a nigga, I want $1 million now. Did that in the third. So y'all never know. Y'all let me know what y'all think though down in the comments, man. Get it back.
Today's big witness was a former security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel. He said Diddy paid him $100,000 to fork over what he thought was the.
I ain't lying, for $100,000 in LA, especially when you obviously since Diddy paid his ass, he probably feel like he knows celebrities and stuff now.
Now he claimed,
but 100K back in 2016, you know the security guard and ran through that shit. So he probably is willingly testifying against bruh.
Wire transfer from Cassie's dad to Diddy, which was sent back days later. We heard that before, remember, from earlier testimony. The prosecution really wanted the jury to focus on this.
So he sent
surveillance video.
Cassie's dad $100,000 to cover up the $100,000 that he actually gave the security guard?
In 2016.
Is that what she just said?
And specifically, what Diddy allegedly did to make sure that it
why he throwing her like that? Damn.
That same day the assault happened,
God damn.
Former security officer from the Intercontinental Hotel, Eddie Garcia, testified the phone, well, it started ringing, and a lot. The calls were from Diddy's chief of staff.
Well, you definitely know the security guard is trying to get a payout for. You got $100K back in 2016 in LA. But you know he blew through that shit. That nigga probably broke now.
Put Diddy himself on the line.
Especially since they found out that he got paid off. The nigga probably don't got a job no more.
I sounded like a good guy.
So I don't think the government came in on some, you know what I'm saying, you gotta testify type stuff. He probably doing this willingly.
Nervous and promised to take care of him. Garcia, he then went to his boss and told him Diddy was willing to pay. His boss suggested $50,000. Garcia then called Diddy back, testifying he was excited. He said, Eddie, my angel, I knew you could help. I knew you could do it. Garcia got the video on a thumb drive from his boss the next day, and then he gave it to Diddy in person. Garcia told the court that Diddy made him sign an NDA, and he said he even spoke.
Oh, so he did sign an NDA. I told you, fool. I told you.
FaceTime, saying, quote,
I would have made the nigga had signed some type of shit for. I can't just give you this shit and trust you, nigga.
For this to come out,
cause you gonna come back after you blow through that shit and want some more.
Now Garcia claimed that Diddy then brought out a brown paper bag full of cash and counted out $100 grand with a money counter. Garcia said that he split that money with his boss and another security officer.
I wouldn't even have told the boss, fool. I mean, obviously, he probably the one that has access to the actual stuff.
And business.
I would have been greedy and tried to get the whole $100K for myself.
But he said he never saw anyone help Diddy commit crimes. The prosecution also showed a statement from Diddy's bank account for his new.
But I do believe though.
It shows the account transferring $20,000 to Cassie on December 14th, 2011. On December 23rd, Cassie's dad wired $20,000 into the account. 4 days later, it was sent back. Now that lines up with the testimony from Cassie Ventura's mother on the stand. Recall that she said that she sent Diddy $20,000 after Cassie told her Diddy was threatening to leak sex tapes. Let's begin with the reporter who broke the story.
So Cassie's mama sent Diddy 20 racks to prevent the leakage of sex tapes after he done throw her around like a football in the hallway.
The importance of this.
Am I understanding this correctly? Y'all let me know something out of the comments, because this is crazy.
We get it was just unbelievable.
And even then, for LAPD released an official statement saying that they can't do anything with this footage because it's so out of date. Which is kind of blowing me, because how is they even able to talk and testify about this shit now? Does that not like constitute with his charges or what?
Before that came from the government's indictment, But they had no other details in the indictment other than he paid $100,000 to try to bribe someone to get this away. What we heard today shows the
He didn't try to. Nigga, they did the shit.
efforts that Diddy himself, as a world-renowned celebrity, took to make sure that this was buried. You heard Eddie Garcia say on the stand, Diddy himself told him, this can ruin me, this can ruin my career. That gives us a clear state of mind that Diddy was in. He knew that his behavior on that was egregious. He knew it could ruin him. As you said, he called him Eddie my angel. Strange name to call someone that you've never met. Also strange for a celebrity to get on the phone with you himself. They usually have people do that for them, and he did. As you
See,
said,
that nigga ain't want the footage to get out.
But she constantly brought Diddy.
I wouldn't say I'd be the
Just
same way
really
because I
an
wouldn't even do no shit like that,
picture
but
of what Eddie
you can
Garcia
obviously understand why he's
testified
doing
happened.
it.
He is brought
You feel
by
me?
Diddy up
Like,
to
that's
his
a no-brainer,
hotel room,
son.
given a brown bag full of $100,000 cash.
A man who makes $10.50 an hour at the time.
Exactly. And then that Diddy comes out with a money counting machine, which Eddie Garcia testified, he told the jury, it seems like he's done this before. And then Diddy himself takes Eddie Garcia down the elevator and basically, bids him farewell. He pays for his valet at the hotel, and he asks him, what are you going to do with this money? And tells him, don't spend it all at once, meaning it could get suspicious. So really, again, brand new information and showing the great lengths that Diddy
that's a
allegedly
ploy
went
from
to
him to
make
come
sure that
kill
this
your
never
ass
came.
later.
So how did the defense then try to follow that? Because that is some pretty compelling testimony to talk about the prosecution's case, that he was allegedly aware, that he didn't want this to see the light of day, which means potentially law enforcement would never see it.
That's right. And cross-examination was very brief, Laura. As you said, there's a ton of testimony to get into, seemingly damning testimony if these allegations that Eddie
Why is
Garcia
it
testified
damning?
are all true. But all
I mean,
the
nah, that
defense
nigga, he
did
basically
is they
just told
picked
you
up this
everything that went on,
non-disclosure,
goddamn.
which
So,
Eddie Garcia
fuck.
told the jury.
What
that
about the
Diddy
NDA though? Is the
handed him
NDA
this.
like
He also handed
voided?
him that bag of $100,000
Because the government
And
is trying to
defense,
find
they
out
showed
what's
a
going on?
paragraph that says,
Or did it
in
expire?
This NDA, it doesn't say that you can't testify about this one day. So basically trying to show they're not prohibiting him from participating in a trial like this, but that's really not the point. The takeaway with showing this NDA is it was on company letterhead. The top of that NDA said Combs Enterprises. And there was also a clause in there that told him if he breached the contract, he would have to pay the company, not Combs, the company, $1 million.
The so-called liquidated damages.
Damn, wait,
That was
what
one of
the
two
fuck?
contracts that were essentially important here. He was also testifying under immunity.
That's right. And, that shows that Eddie Garcia, at least, was nervous because he knows that he was involved with covering something egregious up.
Let's talk about
Damn,
the
so is the
lawyers.
security-
I really
is that
am curious
nigga
to
like
see
in
what they
jail?
have to
Well, he
say.
said he got
Elizabeth
immunity,
Bragmeister,
so-
because I've got a phenomenal panel of people.
Is they like
with me
removing him
here
from the whole
tonight.
situation
I've got,
if
of
he
course,
comes
CNN
forth and
legal
tell?
analyst and criminal defense attorney.
You gotta be
Joey
strict with them
Jackson,
NDAs, fool,
former
because they
federal
basically said, fuck your
prosecutor
NDA.
Barrett
You gonna tell
and
us.
former Manhattan prosecutor Jeremy Saland.
But then the
This
fact they
was
offered bruh
quite a day
immunity
as I
probably
moved
made
my way
him more
onto
like,
this chair.
all right, if I don't
This was quite a
testify,
day.
they probably
I
gonna
will
lock
go
me
right
up
to
for
the
my involvement
of
in
the
this.
hotel
But
security.
if I do,
First of all,
I get
testifying
immunity
under
and
that
whatever.
he admitted that
But,
Combs
damn.
gave him money to make sure this video went away. Now we know some people
And
might
so
call
since
this
it was
a
through
bribe,
his business,
colloquially. Is it enough for the
he could-
prosecution
oh.
to say, no, this was most assuredly a type
That's-
of bribe
dude,
that would be a
huh?
predicate crime, as they keep saying, for RICO?
Of course they're going to argue that was a predicate crime.
RICO?
In addition to the obstruction.
Did she just say
But
Rico?
So what? Meaning, if
I know
someone
she didn't
came
just say
after me
Rico.
because I did something truly bad,
Oh,
or
hell
even
no.
alleging I did something really bad, I have a legal career. I might say, I will pay you money because you're taking advantage and you're actually extorting me. You might do the same. And if you have the other party saying, I'm in agreement, I have a movie, I don't want this coming out. When does me doing an NDA, Stormy Daniels was an NDA, and that in and of itself was not the illegality. Why can't someone who has so much to lose, who's a hands-on freak, not just into freak-offs, be
A hands-on
on
freak?
this entire episode?
But
shut
what?
it down
I
because
ain't
that
never heard
domestic
nobody
violence
say
tape
that
ever
a
came
day in
out.
my life. A
He's screwed.
hands-on
I'm so
freak.
glad you mentioned Stormy Daniels, because I've been thinking
That's
about
kinda
this
freaky.
today in terms of a jury
Hey,
that might be
I'm just saying.
all the more fluent than they probably ever would have been in New York about catch and kill, right? This phenomenon where you've got bad press coming out, and you're
It's not a
paying
phenomenon.
tabloid or otherwise to
The
say,
nigga
how
just
about you just
freaky.
take that and it never sees the light of day. And we didn't see a RICO charge in that case. That was state court, obviously, so very different. But when you hear about that and think about how a jury might view, well, hold on, celebrities all the time, they've got DUIs, they've got videos, they've got dirt and skeletons. Isn't damage control part of what the rich folks do?
I mean, I think there has to be a difference between damage control and seeing a potential criminal case coming down the pipe and saying, I don't want that criminal case to ever see the light of day.
A
And that's where I
DUI is
see
not
these are
that
being
bad,
two
fool. I'm
separate
pretty sure more
situations.
people
In the
than you
scenario
know
you
it get
painted,
arrested for that shit
absolutely.
daily.
If you do something that's embarrassing,
Although,
or could cause
don't
you
do
reputational
drugs
harm,
and drive.
you want to shut
Like,
it down,
that's
you want to pay somebody money, that could be a
stupid, man.
contractual agreement between two people. God bless. However, if you've committed a crime and there is evidence of that crime, and you tell somebody, I want to obtain.
Why she sound so
the
enthusiastic? I don't like that. Is she
all
white or black?
evidence of my crime, that to me starts looking a lot more like obstruction than just a contract.
But what
For the whole 100K from Cassie's dad to Diddy then sent it back, is so y'all let me know some out of the comments. Did they do that to make it a cover up for the actual 100 racks that was going to the security guard? Like, fool, why not just go buy a boat or some shit? Why wire transferring shit? You know what I'm saying? That is what I'm not completely understanding. That's kind of stupid to me, but bro made the decision, goddamn, and you see what's going on now, so damn. That's it for this video, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, goddamn. Like, comment, subscribe. I'ma see y'all next video, man. Big brr.
Look how the diamond blink off my chest. Fresh in my white tee. See the progress. I'm a stunner, stunner, stunner. I'm a stunner, stunner, stunner.